This is Jack.
It's Thursday, the new Friday, August 8th, and today's pod is the best one yet. This is a TBOY.
The top 3 pop business news stories you need to know today.
But Jack, 2 days until vacay. Not too shabby, although we're working on some stuff for the Yetis right now.
This is our second to last podcast before Nick and I go on break for 2 weeks.
It is.
We have episodes dropping the first Monday and the second Monday of our vacation, though.
Yetis.
They're special episodes.
We would never leave you hanging. Before I head out to the place with Jack's and my favorite sauce.
Kansas City, the home of barbecue sauce. Is that where you're going?
It's a little further east. In the meantime, 3 stories for today's TBOY. What do we got on the pod, Jack?
For our first story, Snoop Dogg is the unofficial MC of these Olympics, and he's getting paid $500,000 a day to do it.
So Jack and I discovered Snoop Dogg's marketing strategy. He's getting the apolitical premium.
For our second story, Disney. They just announced earnings, and profits fell at Disney World.
But Disney World's loss is actually your bowling alley's gain.
And our third and final story. Tim Walz was introduced as Kamala Harris's running mate, and he's got one passion point.
Yes, he does.
Childcare.
So Jack and I have our own policy proposal for parents that's also an economic booster shot.
This is a great episode.
And this is a fantastic episode.
But Yetis, before we hit that wonderful mix of stories.
Because I love the mix of stories on this episode. Perfect mix, Jack.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
Yes, I know the Muffin Man who lives in the Olympic Village.
Yeah, it is the biggest winner of the Olympics. Isn't an athlete, it's a dessert. And we're not talking gumdrop buttons.
Because the chocolate muffin served to the athletes at the Olympics has gone viral.
Get this, Yetis. Searches on Google for chocolate muffin hit an all-time high this week.
Because the TikTok videos of that Olympic chocolate muffin have passed 100 million views.
And it's all because one Norwegian swimmer who's been chomping these things down every day made the muffins go viral.
He basically posted photos every day, all day of eating these muffins before every race.
Now, I'm going to sprinkle on some context.
I would love you to sprinkle on a little bit of sugar and some more context.
The Olympic cafeteria chocolate muffin that we're talking about, it's actually a triple chocolate muffin.
It's chocolate cake, chocolate icing, and a gooey lava chocolate center.
And they're an estimated 700 calories per muffin.
Perfect for carbo loading, carbo celebrating, and of course, carbo commiserating.
And food influencer Jordan Howlett actually snagged the secret Olympic recipe.
This guy spoke to 4 people over 3 days who work at the Olympic Village in the kitchen.
I thought spies were expelled from the Olympic Village.
Apparently not, Jack. Apparently they're in the kitchen.
Well, we got the recipe and we shared it in the episode description.
Because we got your back.
If it's good enough for a gold medalist, it's good enough for us.
The chocolate muffin at the Olympics. The breakfast of champions.
Literally.
Jack, let's hit our 3 stories.
Top of the morning to ya!
15 years before this song, 2 boys from the Northeast met in the dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. TBOY City on your at list. If you know, you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, the biggest brand at the Olympics is not LVMH, it's not Nike, it's not Adidas, it's Snoop Dogg.
We investigate why Snoop is more marketable than ever.
Yeah.
Our answer's in the takeaway.
Oh, yeah, it is. Jack, does this name ring any bells to you? Calvin Cortazar Brodus Jr.
No, but Snoop D-O-double-G does.
Yeah.
Nick just referred to the name on the birth certificate of D-O-double-G Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, that's Snoop Dogg's real name. 52-year-old Snoop Dogg. His first rap album was back in 1993.
But his biggest moves are happening today in 2024.
Because Snoop Dogg is the most prevalent brand at the entire Olympic Games in Paris.
Noah Lyles won the 100 meter. Snoop was there.
The gymnastics finale, America took gold. Snoop was there.
He even showed up at the equestrian competition. Yeah. All 6'4" of him in a riding outfit. It was hilarious.
Did you see that Snoop's handing out Olympic pins of himself? And the athletes are like competing over who gets the Snoop pins.
Snoop's getting more airtime than the high jumpers are.
Snoop is the 6th Olympic ring. Actually, he's not an Olympic ring. It's a G thing.
You've probably seen the headline. NBC is paying Snoop $500,000 a day to bring attention to the games that they're broadcasting.
Add it all up. That is $8 million total. Snoop Dogg is getting paid by NBC. Do they even have that money right now, by the way? They spend it on Peacock.
A lot of people are watching the Olympics, so I do think they have
NCIS. Well, they do have $8 million. They're paying Snoop Dogg that money, and that's a good deal for Snoop.
I think I once said that video game tester is the best job of all time. Getting paid $500,000 plus expenses to go to Paris for the Olympics is the best job of all time.
Yeah, he's also getting his expenses paid. We're talking hotel, flight, gin, and juice.
Now, Yetis, the Olympics, that's just the tip of the iceberg for Snoop.
Yeah, because Jack and I jumped in TBOY style. We dropped it like it's hot, and it turns out Snoop actually has done 43 different brand deals in his life.
For the record, Snoop is not done from rapping.
No.
He drops an album every couple of years. But he's making much bigger money today monetizing his celebrity.
Yeah, the rapping is the side hustle to his brand deals. Jack, could you sprinkle on a little more context, please?
Beyonce's done 17 brand deals.
Taylor Swift has done 15 brand deals.
David Beckham's done 28. We see you, Nespresso machine.
But Snoop Dogg has done 43 brand deals that would take that Nespresso machine and toss it in the trash.
Snoop has been the spokesperson for Dunkin' Donuts, for Beyond Meat, for Call of Duty, the video game, and for 7-Eleven.
Snoop has done brand deals with Petco, with Toomey suitcases, with Skechers, Corona beer, pistachios, wonderful pistachios.
And who could forget the Solo backyard wood stove?
Oh, yeah.
Remember he said he's quitting smoke?
Right, but it was for
the smokeless wood stoves.
And yet this is the key. Snoop's deals aren't just big in quantity. There's no overlap in the audiences.
That's why he's able to cash in so much money.
In fact, guess what Snoop is doing on December 28th of this year?
He's hosting the Arizona Bowl. Sorry, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by his canned cocktail, gin and juice.
A Division I college football game is going to be
a bowl game.
The Snoop Dogg College Bowl game.
A bowl game. It's the Snoop Bowl.
Not FedEx. Snoop Dogg.
Not the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. The Snoop Dogg Bowl.
But Jack, back to the Olympic podium for a second. NBC actually had another ace to keep the Olympics relevant this year, didn't they?
Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy.
The podcast. So Jack and I were wondering, what is it about Snoop Dogg and Alex Cooper, the podcaster, that got NBC to pay so much money for them to just be there?
Why were Snoop Dogg and Alex Cooper the pillars of NBC's Olympic marketing strategy?
Jack, I got my mind on the money and the money on the takeaway. So what's the takeaway for our buddy Snoop Dogg?
Apolitical celebrities, they get paid more. It's called the apolitical premium.
Now, Jack and I have seen what happens when a celebrity deal goes wrong, haven't we, man?
Adidas lost 1.3 billion euros on their Yeezy deal because Kanye went crazy.
Yeah, like we said, you live by the influencer, you die by the influencer.
That's why brands are willing to pay extra for celebrities who are generally brand safe and specifically are apolitical.
Personalities who still have an edge, but they aren't politically divisive.
Snoop Dogg's edge is cannabis.
Right.
But cannabis is legal in most places. It's become destigmatized.
And Jack, Alex Cooper's edge is sex talk, but that's become destigmatized.
Both Snoop and Alex Cooper, they're broadly popular across the whole nation.
Yes, they are.
The key is that Snoop Dogg and Alex Cooper's brands carry no political baggage, no bad vibes, nothing divisive to divide.
So brands like Petco, Skechers, NBC, they want that popular celebrity, but they don't want the controversy.
And for the Olympics, they were willing to pay $8 million for Snoop Dogg.
That is the apolitical premium. For our second story, Disney earnings just confirmed the travel turnaround. You're not splurging on travel like you did 6 months ago.
But if we're saving money by not traveling, what are we spending those savings on? That's what Nick and I want to find out.
Yes, it is. But Yetis, first, trigger warning. Password sharing crackdowns, they're coming for you.
First, Netflix cracked down on password sharing.
Yeah.
Now, Disney's doing it for Disney+.
Password sharing crackdown. It's coming to the Magic Kingdom, baby.
The days of sharing mom's Hulu password are coming to an end in September. Bob Iger announced yesterday.
Now, Yetis, Disney's streaming business, it just had its best quarter yet for Disney.
It hit profitability, and it's going to get even more profitable after the password sharing crackdown.
Yeah, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, all owned by Disney. They lost $1 billion last year, but they just squeaked out a nice little profit last quarter.
But before you celebrate like Cinderella,
Yeah, Jack?
Disney stock fell 4% despite that wonderful report.
So what? Was this one issue eating away at Disney like a mouse on cheese?
It's the empty roller coasters.
Yeah. Space Mountain, it's as barren as the moon right
We
now.
embellish. There's probably a long line to get on Space Mountain.
Yeah, there is.
But Disney's theme parks are not as full as they used to be.
And that's important, besties, because for years, theme parks have been Disney's profit puppy, right, Jack?
Last year, 70% of Disney's corporate profits were from the theme park division.
But profits from those Disney theme parks, they shockingly shrank last quarter.
It's a small world after all.
Hey, honey, I shrunk the profits.
Those are both factually accurate statements with regards to Disney's finances right now.
And because Disney is so big, it's Disney, that is more of a confirmation that Americans are spending less on travel right now.
We've been seeing this for a few months. It's not just at Epcot. This week, Airbnb announced their slowest revenue growth ever.
And then, Jack, the airlines, they reported fewer flyers this summer, which has forced airfares to finally come down.
The pent-up demand for travel from the pandemic, it's not here anymore.
No.
It's been replaced by penny pinching from budget-constrained consumers.
But Yetis, here's what Jack and I noticed, that whenever there's a moment in the economy where there are big savings,
It helps you justify a little splurge.
yeah,
So if you're saving money on travel,
yeah,
what are you buying instead?
you're going to treat yourself to one of those cute tops you always tell me about, Jack. Like the one you're wearing right now. I love that sweater. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Disney?
The next trend in travel is to not travel. It's little local luxuries instead.
Yetis, Jack and I expect this cutback on travel to result in a reallocation of spending elsewhere. Same habit, but different place, smaller price tag.
You save $1,000 on a flight and a hotel room, you can easily justify spending $100 on something else.
Jack, cancel your trip to France. Go to the Au Bon Pan down the street instead for the weekend and get
If
a whole
I
meal.
cancel my flight to France, Au Bon Pan's going to get a bunch of my
You book
money.
out the back room and you have all your friends come.
Seriously, Yetis, if Americans are canceling trips to Disney, they're going to go out to Dave & Buster's for dinner instead.
And as investors, Jack and I see an opportunity here for the movie theaters, the restaurants, the bowling alleys to pick up those cash.
The second-tier theme parks that you can drive to just for a day trip, like Great Wolf Lodge.
We're talking Topgolf, Six Flags, the Atlanta Braves baseball game.
That's a publicly traded company,
Yeah.
the Atlanta Braves.
The Atlanta Braves.
We could be entering a sustained era of less splurging on big-ticket travel.
And that could be a good thing for little local luxuries. Hey Yetis, if you're a bestie, take a sec and hit that subscribe button.
And like this video while you're at it. If you leave a comment, by the way, we'll read it.
For our third and final story, Tim Walz is the new Democratic candidate for VP. So we're looking at his economic resume.
The biggest thing we noticed? Kids.
Yep, kids.
So we jumped in T-Boy style to the economic impact of parental policies.
From the windows to the walls.
We go wah, 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 waltzing with bears.
You're going balls to the walls, Jack, is what you're saying.
Tim Walz. He has a highly memeable last name, doesn't he?
It just kind of works with the walls. It works in a lot of
Also,
ways.
fun fact, Tim Walz owns no individual stocks.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen a politician who didn't own specific stocks.
His retirement and his savings are all in a pension,
well-
which is indirectly stocks.
Tim Walz has also got a long record of public service if you're getting to know the guy.
He voted for and against a whole bunch of bills during his 12 years in Congress.
And signed a whole bunch of bills into law as governor of Minnesota for 5 years.
So he's got an economic resume.
Yes, he does.
And we're jumping in T-Boy style.
Yes, we are.
Now, Tim Walz is not entirely progressive with his policies.
Back in 2015, Tim voted for the Keystone XL pipeline, a big oil move.
But later, as governor of Minnesota, he committed the state's utilities to become 100% carbon-free by 2040.
So add it all up, and Tim Walz's record is not entirely progressive policies.
But Walz's public image is that of a family man.
And this is the interesting thing we noticed. Tim Walz's economic record shows a particular focus on children.
For example, last year, as governor of Minnesota, he signed a state law providing free breakfast and free lunch to all public school children.
And he paid for those universal school meals with a new tax on capital gains and corporate profits and people making over $1 million.
For lower and middle income Minnesotans, he also passed a tax credit of $1,750 per kid.
With no limit on the number of kids. So, Jack, if you end up having 10 kids, you're getting $17,000.
If you live in Minnesota, yep.
And he also added state-funded family paid leave to Minnesota.
If you live in Minnesota, you can take up to 12 weeks of paid time off per year if you have a newborn child.
12 weeks of not sleeping. But Jack, back to that tax credit for having kids, because that one was particularly interesting.
Yeah, that's only in the state of Minnesota. But we do have something similar at the federal level.
And yet, during the pandemic, it was $3,600 tax credit per kid, but Congress let that expire. So
now the federal tax credit for kids is less. It's about $2,000.
But Jack and I had a particular interest in one thing now that we both got kids, and that's childcare.
We can tell you how important childcare is to growing our economy.
And here's why. Because without affordable childcare, one of the parents can't be in the workforce.
So if we can provide affordable childcare, you can unlock a massive workforce that wants to work.
That's huge economic impact, and maybe you'll get some sleep. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies who are everyone with kids in this economy?
To see where America's values are, look at what's tax deductible.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing Jack and I think about. Our tax code, it is determined by our government, which is determined by us voters.
So tax deductions are a window into what we as a society value.
So let that sink in for a second. Our tax deductions are a sign of our values.
For example, we encourage home ownership and we value higher education.
Because interest on mortgages and student loans are tax deductible.
We encourage work vehicles and home offices, apparently.
Both of those are tax deductible.
And we encourage investing and risk-taking.
Losses on stocks, yeah, those are tax deductible.
All of those things we just mentioned, they can be paid for with pre-tax dollars.
Yes, they can.
It's a signal that our society values those things by making them more affordable for you.
But the way Jack and I see it, even though parenting is a bipartisan issue and childcare is a huge expense, we're getting paltry federal support.
Politicians talk about our low birth rate and the need for us to have more kids as a country.
Well, instead of talking about it, how about we financially incentivize it like we do everything else we hold as valuable?
By making childcare tax deductible.
So, besties, to see where America's values are, look at what's tax deductible.
Because right now, it's not childcare.
No, it ain't. Jack, could you whip up the takeaways for us for the new Friday?
Snoop Dogg is cashing in at these Olympics because he's edgy, but he's palatable to all Americans.
He's cashing in on what we call the apolitical premium.
For our second story, Disney's theme parks made less money last quarter than the same quarter the year before.
So we think the theme of travel right now is less travel, which is really good for little local luxuries.
And our third and final story is Tim Walz. The Democratic VP candidate has an economic differentiator that is affordable childcare.
If you want to know what we value as a society, just look at what's tax deductible.
But Yetis, this pod's not over yet. Here's what else you need to know today.
First, Lyft is making progress on its big promise to end surge pricing.
Lyft just launched Price Lock mode, which is for commuters who commute the same time of the day every day.
Yeah, you want to lock in that same price. You don't want to wake up on a Tuesday and it's twice the price of a Wednesday.
So for a $3 subscription, you can have a reliable commute to work and a reliable commute home.
The Lyft CEO said he's opened up a can of whoop ass on surge pricing, but investors dropped the stock 17%.
Lyft continues to get lapped by Uber.
It's still worth one Lyft. And second, those two NASA astronauts who are stuck up in space, they could be up there for 6 more months.
2 NASA astronauts went up to the International Space Station for what they thought was a 1-week mission.
But because of technical issues with their Boeing Starliner rocket, they can't come home until SpaceX has a ship available.
It's another bad look for Boeing and a bummer for those 2 brave astronauts and their families.
And finally, organizers have canceled 3 Taylor Swift concerts in Vienna, Austria that were supposed to happen in just the next 3 days.
The reason the Viennese tour of Taylor Swift concerts was canceled? Suspected terrorist plots.
Yeah, better safe than sorry, although a lot of bummed fans. But Knowing Taylor, she's probably going to redo those concerts, which I just said like I know Taylor, by the way.
No, I bet you're right. She's going to make good on these concerts at some point and like track down everyone who bought a ticket and give them a free ticket.
Knowing Taylor, which we don't necessarily do, she's probably going to do like 8 concerts in Vienna. Now, time for the best fact yet. This one sent in by Anthony Whitlow from lovely Albany, New York.
Push and play.
Here we go.
Hey Yetis, we all know that Wyoming is the smallest U.S. state by population. However, besties, this is about to change. The city of Gillette will be hosting a worldwide youth event called a Pathfinder Camporee, expecting 60,000 youth and support staff camping at a local rodeo facility. From August 5 to 11, Wyoming's population will grow by 10.3% and will boost Gillette from 3rd to 1st as largest city in Wyoming. This will also make Vermont the least populous state for this week.
The Pathfinder Camporee.
Are we going to this thing?
I don't know, but I can't believe right now Vermont is the smallest state by population.
It's for 1 week. It's a good look. It's like a short king kind of all the states.
Also, 60,000 kids in tents. That's affordable childcare.
Yeah, it is. Yetis, you look fantastic for the new Friday. And remember, one of the best ways you can help grow this show is to drop down and give us a 5-star rating and review.
Nick and I read every review, or you could drop a link to this episode to your best buddy in text right
Jack,
now.
can I read you the latest 5-star review? You ready for
I'd
this?
love it.
First thing, it's from a Yeti named Suspense. They say, the first thing I listen to every morning is this 5-star podcast. I'm in the business to business world. This podcast provides humor and insight, equipping me with knowledge and talking points. I love it. I love it. Yetis to the moon.
No edits.
No edits.
No edits.
Although there were a couple emojis in there. Yetis, thank you for your 5-star reviews. We love having you with us for this.
Nick and I will see you tomorrow for the last pod pre-vacay.
If you know, you know. And before we go, a happy birthday to Yeti Jonah Faye Hurwitz, the Baron of Branding over in New York City, looking fantastic.
And happy birthday to Monique Tinio, who feels like my compadre because she's based in Paris, France.
She's going to Paris too. It is possible. Landan Nodden is turning a big 50 years old in Winston-Salem, North Carolina with some good old pulled pork barbecue.
And happy birthday to Avyan Molina, who is 3 weeks old. The best little baby boy in Toronto, Canada.
And Ryder LaRivera is turning 18 years old in Kentfield, California, right across the bridge in Marin County.
The kid from Kentfield is starting at Yale next week.
He's already a bulldog.
And to anyone else celebrating something today, make it a T-boy.
Celebrate the wins.